by the Women's Inspire Network. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Business Block with Miriam O'Gara. My guest today is a Women's Inspire member. Her name is Keri Denney, and she's very welcome to the show. Keri, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I'm very, very good. The weather's improving. We're all able to travel intercounty now, thankfully.
Yes.
Now, Keri, you're Keri Denney Massage and Wellness.
Yes.
So,
And
tell us about that.
So I've been a massage therapist actually for over 20 years now, and just gone into focusing on self-care, because what I noticed with my clients, the more they did in between their appointments, the better our sessions would be. So I've just focused on this self-care aspect. So integrating movement, massage, essential oils, and everything that you can do at home in between your appointments to keep your body feeling great.
Great. Now, I was looking at your website, and in your About section, you explained that you've been doing this for years. You started it in the United States.
Yes.
You're originally from California.
I am, yes. But my mom grew up here in Ireland, and so I spent many a summer over here, and I fell in love naturally, and was sort of, maybe someday that would be nice if we could ... And then my husband said, we could go now. And that was in 2017. And so now it's almost 4 years we've been here.
It happened. So your husband is Gary.
My husband is Gary, yeah. And he grew up all over the United States. And we came here actually on our first wedding anniversary. And he's like, I love it. I love Ireland. And he never even had a passport before he met me.
No way. It's amazing. A lot of Americans don't have passports.
Yeah. They don't have time to travel. Why would I travel? Plus the United States is so huge that you could spend your whole lifetime driving from state to state and seeing so many things that, gosh, why would I go anywhere else? And I'm like, I have to go to Ireland so I can see my granny and my cousins and my aunts and uncles. Like, how can you not have a passport?
So you introduced him to a whole new world.
We actually met through gaming.
Oh, now that's stressful. No wonder you need your wellness there, your health.
Yeah, so I would do massage at game conventions, and he actually knew my sister online from ordering games that he's played his whole life. And, I always say the universe conspired to get us together, because his plans fell through. He was living in another state, and his friends like, go to California, go to that convention. And I was there doing massage, and my sister knew him online as a customer and was like, oh, hey, this is my sister. And we're like, oh, okay.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? So is he supportive? I'm sure he is.
Very supportive. Yes, absolutely.
And it's so important when you're starting a business in another country as well, to get that support, to have that personal support, isn't it?
Yeah. And he's just a gem all around. But even if he doesn't understand me wanting to run my own business and be an entrepreneur, that he's like, go for it, whatever makes you happy. So,
well, that's perfect, isn't it? So talk to us about the transition from the United States, taking a business that you had there, because you were a dance teacher as well, weren't you? And as well as into massage. Was it Swedish massage you started out with, or?
Yeah, I basically started Swedish massage, which I tell people is kind of what you think of when you think of massage. You lay down on the table, you're draped, long flowing strokes. But really, as I started to go through massage, it was really more intuitive. So I like to get clients talking about what they have going on, so then I can concentrate on those things. But usually I would just follow my intuition. They're like, oh, that was perfect. That's exactly, how did you know?
Yes, exactly. So you arrive over here in Ireland. What are the hurdles that you have to jump to get started with your own business as someone who's freshly arrived and really want to get started over here?
Freshly arrived. So join the Women's Inspire Network and start getting to know people.
Yes.
That was pretty much one of the first things that I did. When I did arrive here, I realized that I'd never actually moved away from home. I had done a lot of traveling, but had never moved away. My mom left Ireland in California and is never going to leave there. And then I came back and realized, oh, I've never actually lived more than a few miles from my mom.
Yes. Yes.
Like, oh, that's different. Okay. So it took me a little bit of time to sort of personally settle in to living somewhere else. As much as we love it here and it's amazing, just kind of get your bearings and know
where it's culture shock as well.
Yeah, where to grocery shop, what kind of toilet paper to buy.
Exactly.
Those things you don't think about.
No, I totally get it.
What's good? So so just that settling in, networking, key.
At what point did you realize that Ireland is actually quite a significant wellness business base?
Yeah, everybody needs help. Everybody has issues and is sore and tight and stressed, and so needs some help. So I had been ramping up to find a space and open my own place, and just kind of wasn't coming together. And so, like I did in the United States, go to events with my massage chair and do big events, and then COVID hit. So in that transition, I actually started going to Zumba classes, and I've always been a dancer, but I started going to Zumba classes, so I was like, I need to get into something, and then just got inspired to become an instructor. And so I just started teaching Zumba actually over lockdown, virtually. So
wow, that's quite a challenge. Quite a challenge. Now I see in your information to back pain, coping with pain has been something that you focused on, not just while here in Ireland, but over the years. Can you talk to us a little bit about that and how the wellness industry and your personal experience came together?
Yeah, I worked in an office and just saw people not taking very good care of themselves. And when they were in pain, they just, what do I do? What pill do I take? And so I thought, there's a better way. And so getting people on my table, getting my hands on them, getting those muscles relaxed on a regular basis, not just a luxury that you do when you're on holiday, not just a luxury you do for your birthday, but you're doing it for yourself. It's a tune-up. It's like a checkup that you would do for your car, right? You put petrol in, you put oil in, you want to do the same for yourself. So actually my business in California, I called it Massage Garage.
In Walnut, wasn't it?
In Walnut Creek, yeah.
Walnut Creek.
Yeah. So, and I was right near several hospitals. And so I would actually go in and work with hospital staff and same, just to reduce the stress, reduce the pain, because we're running around, we're stressed, we're sitting at our desk for long hours. So to get people out of that, even for 15 minutes for a chair massage, or if I could get them away.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you'll notice there, I don't know if it was the same in the United States at the time, but go back to the early noughties and you saw these all over airports. They were very much the in thing. They seem to have disappeared a little bit now, but there was a few years there in the early noughties when you just saw massage being done in the most unusual of places, malls. It doesn't seem to be there now, which is a shame.
I've done it in nightclubs. I've done it for golf tournaments. I've done it for gamers walking around for 4 or 5 days, just sitting at a table playing games for 8 hours. I'm like, yeah, let's straighten you up.
I mean, really, when you think about it, I mean, I'm in a studio here. It's in my own home, but it's a purpose-built studio. I don't notice hours disappearing.
Yes.
When I'm on the computer, when I'm actually editing a show or something like that. And I wonder what is wrong with my neck. And why is it really affecting me at night now? It's not only keeping me awake at night, but it's there all day as well. I need somebody to do. And I tried to convince my husband, he won't massage anything. The dog is lucky if he gets stroked or petted, But really, you don't notice how your body is seizing up, particularly if you're really working intensely on something. So to go somewhere, even a mall or an airport somewhere, and actually be able to sit down for a few minutes and have someone work on that spot. It's amazing.
Yeah. And there's few tips that you can do just sitting at your desk. You can set an alarm. So if you are somebody who will get really intense for hours, set an alarm for every 40 minutes, something like that. stand up, roll your shoulders back, give yourself a little stretch.
Yes.
And just take a minute for yourself to do that little bit of self-care, because we do get so intense and with the computer, and then you might find yourself hunching over, but there's so much information coming into our eyes, which is attached to your brain, which is attached to the base of your skull, which all your muscles. And then if you're like, ooh, this is really great. So just to take a minute and really just give yourself a self-care moment. So that's why I'm doing my self-care tips.
Yes, tell us more about that, because really self-care it's the buzzword, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, a lot of wellness, self-care, self-love, taking care of yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup. So if you just give and give and give and give and give, there's no more. So you have to fill yourself up first. If you're in pain, you don't want to do anything else. You don't want to pet the dog. You don't want to go for a walk. You just want to. So I like to post little self-care tips like that. Take a few minutes and stretch, writing out some affirmations, things that are going to fill you up. Take a Zumba class with me because it's super fun, and that just like replenishes your energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you forget about everything for an hour because you're like, what is she doing? What is she doing?
Yeah. Now, what does wellness mean to you?
Oh, wellness to me means being well. You're taking care of yourself. You're making the best food choices that you can. You're not running out to McDonald's and fast food. You're drinking your water. You're taking time for you so that you can be at your best.
Yes. And really I think it's a lot up here too, isn't it? Like, you have to keep moving. You've got to make sure that the circulation keeps going. I should say to you that I'm very interested in what you have to say, because my mother was a physiotherapist. She was Swedish Massage as well. And what in the 1970s, she had a clinic in the house. And she had doctors being referred to her. But at the same time, she got an awful lot of people who were very undesirable. And it's difficult to explain to them that, no, this is self-care. This is, referrals from doctors. This is about something else, looking after yourself as a person. How do you deal with the chancers who come along, and perhaps people who are looking for something else? Does that happen very often? What do you say to people in that kind of situation?
So I find in your self-care that you are in touch with your intuition. And so, if you get a bad feeling about something, that you follow that, and you don't let your brain take over and go, I need clients. I have to take anybody who comes through the door. Because if somebody's asking me weird questions, it sets off a red flag. And then it becomes kind of a catch-22 where I don't want to put myself out there too much. I want to grow and share my gifts, but I also don't want that.
Yeah. And that's what my mom, like yourself, my mom was very charismatic. So, you can attract the wrong sort too. So protecting yourself, making sure you're involved with the right networks. Women's Inspire powers this program. It's an absolutely fantastic network. Samantha Kelly, the tweeting goddess, absolutely love her. Wonderful ideas, grows the business wonderfully, and is always there for you too. So getting the right people on board. How has it worked here for you? Is there any platform, any particular anything that didn't work for you that you would advise people to stay away from, for example, when you were trying to get the business off the ground?
What I've discovered is networking is, not to harp on about it, but networking, having those personal connections, because my whole business, especially in California, was all word of mouth.
Right.
So my friends referred their friends and connections. So any of the networking that I did, that's how I advertise my business. So now with all the different social media platforms and all the different ways, as you can see, that I'm trying to bring in self-care with my journal, with essential oils, with doing hands-on massage, but also when we can't, is sharing tips so that I can still be of service and help you when you're at home.
Now, do you mention there, I have just a wee picture of it here. Dragonfly Journal. Tell us more about this. This is a wonderful idea. I really love this.
Yeah. So part of the whole self-care package, right? Journaling, writing down your ideas. Sometimes when we're stressed, we have so many ideas in our head or things that we worry about. if we can get those down on paper and kind of get them out of your head, especially before you go to bed or first thing when you wake up, get those things out of your head so then you can have a good night's sleep. So I also have an ebook on my website, a free ebook about getting good sleep. And
yeah, absolutely. And I'll flash the photograph of the journal up properly in the edit. She's on Instagram at Self-Care Keri, Pinterest, Keri Denney Wellness, Twitter at Self-Care Keri, Facebook at Self-Care Keri, but with capitals on that one, on the first words on that one. Now, just talk to me for a moment about Pinterest.
I was actually in a blogging seminar this week, and somebody was like, oh, use Instagram or Pinterest for your business. And I was like, I didn't even know people do that. And since I just got my website and have all my links to my blogs and different things that you can link things with Pinterest. So I just signed up for a business account and start putting all my pretty things together. So yeah, starting out there in Pinterest, because a lot of people.
So this is still in the baby stages. You're still just waiting to see how this will work.
Yeah, just kind of getting a lot of pins up there and boards and following other people in the network and things that I like, and seeing how that can link back to business.
So right now, what do you find is the best way to generate clients?
This kind of face-to-face videos and meetings and reaching out to people. If people say, geez, I'm having a hard time sleeping, or I have a pain in my neck, you know what? I have an essential oil that you can use at home and help yourself.
Now, talk to me about essential oils, because this is something that you talk about quite a bit on your website. So it's Doterra that you go with, isn't it? Doterra?
Doterra, yeah.
Doterra. Doterra essential oils. Now, essential oils they're very powerful, aren't they?
Very powerful, and they're not all created equal. And so when I started doing massage, I came across a lot of different essential oils and shakes and supplements and different things. And I said, no. I just want to concentrate on my clients and give them the best. So I never integrated any of that kind of stuff into the work that I was doing. And then I saw Doterra and I was like, oh, something's different here. What's going on? And my friend would come around the office and I was like, oh, you smell amazing. What is happening? This is amazing. She goes, oh, there's these Doterra oils. They're really powerful. And I said, are they pure? And she said, absolutely. And so there's the science to back it up, that there's no additives, no fillers, no pesticides when they're growing up. And so Doterra, I could go on about this forever, but they are changing the world. So it's not just that I have my bottle of lavender that helps me sleep, but this bottle of lavender has helped a farmer, a small family farm somewhere across on the other side of the world, have clean water and schools and clinics and amazing stuff. So we have what's called co-impact sourcing. So it's not just, we'll just take this lavender so we can have what we want, but making a global impact, which I think is really important to people right now. Consumers coming up, you don't want just, this is great for me. I want this to affect
now,
more.
if you have somebody come in who actually can't be around very pungent or strong aromas, what can you offer them as an alternative then?
So since the oils, mostly when people have a reaction to essential oils, it's because of the additives or because of pesticides, things that have been added to it. There are some things that people just don't like, or we've smelled too many synthetic lavender. And so they're just like, oh, I don't like lavender. That's fine. You know what? Frankincense is very relaxing. Copaiba is very relaxing. There are other oils, petitgrain, they'll say is like man lavender, because it's not as flowery. It's more from orange. And so
slightly muskier.
Yeah. So it has the same chemical constituents. And so you'll get the same effect, the same relaxing effect, but you don't have the flowery scent. And then if there's things that somebody needs and they don't like the scent, like just put it on the bottom of your feet. It'll go through your body where it needs to go.
And how long do you find that these last, the effects from the essential oils? Once you've done a therapy session with someone, how long is it likely to last?
It can last a few days, actually. When I was seeing clients regularly, they would be relaxed for several days after their massage. And so that's when you want to say, okay, now here's a blend for you to take home that you can use than when you maybe start to feel more stressed or need that opportunity to relax. And our bodies get used to that. And so I would tell people, you know, you want to make your appointment, whatever the schedule can be, whether it's every 2 weeks or every month or whatever it is. So then as they're coming up to their appointment, their body already starts to relax. So you start to learn. So they're already coming in relaxed. Great. I walk in the door, I smell the wild orange and I smell the frankincense. And I'm already starting to relax.
Lovely. I love the idea of the wild orange. I love that.
Oh, it's so nice. It's like sunshine in a bottle. Just like when you do finally go to get your hair cut, like your hair is like has a fabulous hair day because your hair is like, okay, best behavior. Your body does the same thing. Start to relax before you even come in.
I remember as a child, it's one of my long-standing memories of my mum working. She used to make her own creams, lanolin creams, etc. Have you ever done that, or do you work only with the oils?
Mainly with the oils, but we have so many pure things that we can mix it with that we do have a lot of DIY make your own creams and cleaners and laundry detergent and make up your own blend. I have a blend here that I just made. I just put on called Energy.
Oh, lovely. Lovely.
Yeah.
So that would be, you'd apply that in the morning?
Yes.
So it's an energizing oil and very, very nice. So blends.
Yeah. So
they must be very marketable then.
Yeah. So doTERRA has a bunch of single oils plus blends, but then people start to investigate in a little bit more and they're like, hey, what if we take this blend and this single oil and mix them together? And what is that? And so you get some more variety and something you put together and then you're like,
with potency. I mean, for example, if you were working with a child, does how much you would use matter?
Yes, you would use less and you would dilute it more. So we have what's called fractionated coconut oil. So it's very clean, absorbs, and you dilute it for children.
And if you're working with someone, let's say, who's having some kind of treatment, you know, for cancer or something like that, does that make a difference as well?
You want to work with them. It can be very effective to work with the side effects of what they're dealing with.
Yes.
Very effective. But you also want to be careful because you're like, oh, you know, here, everybody loves this. And they're just like, no. So you want to be very cautious and I wouldn't have the diffuser going because if they walk into the space and they don't like it, you know, it'd be tough to get it out, but have smaller bottles to try and test and see where are you today. And that kind of goes for anybody, any day. Like, where are you today?
Yes.
Does this smell good today? Do you need this? I put something else on earlier. I was like, oh, that's not what I need today.
Yes. Yeah. I need more energy today. So I'm putting on the other. Lovely. Well, I tell you, there's so many different things. You also have on the website, I noticed, come work with me. Can you explain what that's about?
Yeah, so I teach people how to use the oils and products for themselves. So to set up and have their own account where I can show you, here's our top 10 most popular oils. These are how you can use them. This is why this brand is so effective and will continue to be effective. doTERRA, side note, doTERRA was born in 2008 in the United States during a recession time. And so
is it California based?
It's in Utah, actually.
Utah.
Yeah. And so during this COVID time, they have kept right up with everything, you know, with production, and the business didn't dip at all. And actually our business has grown exponentially because people are like, I need at-home wellness. I need to be able to take care of myself and not have to go out and not use the icky hand gels, but use our On Guard hand sanitizer, for example.
So are you working on any kind of strategy now to hone the wellness at home side of your business?
No. I am actually, yeah. So I want to do sort of like Zoom wellness retreats that we can go into, you know, corporate and have a session where, you know, I can send you little samples and then we can work with them together and teach you how to use them and how to be more well, no matter where you are.
Exactly, because I can fully because it's happening in my own place to a certain extent. I can certainly see how the world of the corporate manager is transferring back home, and they're okay. They've worked out a blueprint for themselves over the last 14 months, but the room is probably still a mess, and it needs to be. It needs to be more streamlined. It needs to become a healthy space to work in. So would that be something you could coach people on too?
Absolutely. Yeah. Getting your space designed so it's best for productivity and feels great. Because you want, even where I am in the corner of our front room, that this is my space, that I have my oils and I have my little things that make me feel good and productive here. So, and corporations, even if people are working from home, you still need to have all those team building and community things. So this is an opportunity for a community building activity.
Absolutely. So you're an entrepreneur working from home. You've probably been sitting at your computer maybe from 9:30, 10 in the morning, and you look at the clock on your screen and you realize it's now 5:45 in the evening. Look, it happens to me. I don't know how it happens, but it happens to me. What would you suggest they do?
Slowly stand up from your desk. Have a little stretch.
Yes.
So, do you mean to not get stuck like that?
Well, no, actually both, but I'm just thinking you are locked in. Your hips and your legs, the muscles get very tight, don't they?
Yes.
And it's really difficult. You can't just stand up and just go about your work upstairs or downstairs. And you really do have to sort of disengage the brain. The eyes are usually at the back of my head at the end of the day.
Yeah. So you want to slowly back away, close the computer, step away, take a nice deep breath in, do a few stretches, get those shoulders moving, take a little walk around. Even, like I said, I'm in my front room, the door's closed. I might have a little walk around here before I go into the rest of the house, because as soon as I emerge, the family's like, what's for dinner? What's happening? Let me tell you all about my day. And you're like,
so I need a moment. I need a moment. Exactly. To tune in with the rest of real life in front of me. Absolutely. No, I completely agree with that. And the thing is, I know the other interpretation of what I was saying there would have been, well, how do I stop getting into this situation? That's a really tough one, because it seems so out of our control. We're expected to be, when we're running a business, our own business, we're expected to be full on 18 hours a day minimum. You've got to be checking your phone and checking all your accounts and checking your business email. And very often my business email is the very last thing I check. And that takes a little while before I've even started. And I'm sure you're the same, but it's very difficult to say, I'm only going to work it this way, because it demands that you work it its way. And so how do you de-stress? How do you keep talking to yourself and say, right, okay, I know that this is expected of me, and I'm afraid I'll forget about the 10th thing on the list if I don't do it now. You do have to disengage, don't you? You do have to step away and say, right, no, I have to put my own health and wellness and self-care first. I've got to think about my brain and what this might be doing to my brain.
And setting good boundaries for yourself. So you've been working for yourself for a while. You know that you can have days that you go for 18 hours or something like that. So set up some good boundaries. From 9 until 10, I'm going to do my stretches. I'm going to make sure I have a good breakfast. I'm going to get my water, have my water here at my desk. And then the more water you drink, then you have to, take a little walk to
refill the bottle.
Empty and refill, and then come back. So that gets you a little bit of movement. I'm going to take my lunch break at this time. And so having some boundaries in place, so then and some people will say, set a timer. I'm only going to check Twitter from 9 until 10 p.m. or check Facebook from, or take an hour. This is when I'm going to check all my social media, or take an hour. This is when I'm going to check all my emails.
So scheduling, yeah, scheduling. It is
balance.
difficult. It is difficult though, isn't it? Because sometimes there'll be something that comes in and it demands your full attention and it totally upsets the schedule. Totally upsets the schedule.
You go, okay, fluid. It's fluid.
It's fluid. It has to be fluid. You just got to run with it. I totally agree with you. I totally agree.
So
I don't know. I suppose for a lot of people, when they're working at home at a distance, they probably panic over things they shouldn't. And they probably react impulsively to things as well that, you know, they really don't need to do. People can wait.
People can wait. Yes. And if you jot it down in your self-care, in your journal, jot it down. Here are the things that I need to get to. What needs to be taken care of first, or what needs to be taken care of today. And then you can prioritize and try to not, I turn the notifications off on my phone because I'll be sitting here. I've got two computers and I got my phone. My husband walks in and he's like, what you doing there? I'm like,
yeah, I agree with you. And also prioritizing having a good breakfast in the morning. That is something I do too. I take time to just get my head straight, settle the head. I make sure I have, you know, I make myself pancakes, something I used to do when I was younger. I'd just run out the door with a cup of tea and a piece of toast in my mouth. But now I will actually have an egg, pancake, whatever it is, and make sure that I have some protein, something that will pull me up and keep me going. It's a hugely important meal for me now at this age. I don't know about yourself, but I certainly find that as I get older, it's really important to make sure you get the right food into you early. And it doesn't matter how much, just get the right food in.
And take that moment, even if it's going to be tea and toast, that you sit down for 2 minutes and just enjoy that. Fill yourself up, you know, get that going. So then you are prepared instead of like, oh, I just grabbed my tea and I run out the door and then it's in traffic and you're doing this and it's like, just take a moment and same at lunch. I want to, you know, make some calls and take my walk and eat my lunch, sit down,
stop. Stop.
Have a self-care moment.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I'm the worst for it, but it really is important now. I mean, I know a lot of the women in the Women's Inspire movement will know that when you hit certain decades, it becomes more important. I'm 56 now in a couple of weeks. And I know I've got to do that now, whereas I could get away with it in my 40s. I've got to do that now. I've got to, and that's where I start looking at people like you and others in the group who are self-care and just look at the reminders coming through. A lot of it is not rocket science.
Yeah.
It's just getting yourself to do it.
And it's prioritizing you.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. What about other things? Have you ever tried advertising on something like Shopify or, you know, anything like that that would bring clients to your site?
I haven't, but I am certainly open to ideas.
Yeah, I interviewed someone yesterday. He'll be on my Thursday show. And what he had to say was very, very interesting. His name was Mark Kerwin of Clear Cut Marketing. And he raised a couple of points to me that I hadn't thought about when it came to bringing people to my website. So it just strikes me wellness could be something to look at there. So have a look at it, Keri. Have a look at the Thursday show. Mark Kerwin. So, you know, very often I find that I will overlook something blatantly obvious. And I need to be told, I need someone to show me that this actually will work for you. Sam is very good at that. Yeah. She came in during the week and she said, you know, don't hashtag certain, and I won't say who they were, but certain people. She said, don't, or organizations they were in this case, don't, because they will never, ever get back to you. And I thought about it. And I thought, yes, you know, you're absolutely right. That's not going to happen. So I stopped. But I very often need someone to say that because that is self-care too within your business.
Yeah.
You know, it is very, very similar. So Keri, where to now in the future? Where do you think you're going now with the business?
I want to share more of the wellness with people. Like I said, maybe going into the corporate sector with some wellness, team building things. I just want to share the love of essential oils and how we can prioritize ourselves. And so I'd love for you to get in touch with me to do a one-on-one or a wellness class so I can teach you a few things.
Lovely. We'll do that. We'll do that.
In your home.
Absolutely.
Because they're the first thing that we go to. You know, you burn your finger in the kitchen, put the lavender on. You cut something, you know, we have an ointment. I use the shampoo, the skincare, the spa products. You can make your home like your own little spa. So
it can be done.
It can be
done. It can be done, folks.
You see, I have my diffuser going here.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Now, I should actually think about those. I agree with you. That's a very good idea. Diffusers are wonderful things.
Great way to just, you know, people are like, oh, I don't want to, you know, clean my house. You don't have to. Just put lemon in the diffuser and it smells like
that's a very, very good tip. But you know what I found? Well, I used to have a diffuser. I don't have one anymore, but I found that my animals in my house were so much more relaxed.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And that's why it's really important to have the best essential oils, because if there are any additives, the animals can't deal with it. There are some oils to avoid with animals. And so I teach you all about that when we meet and do a class. That I have a book on animals and these oils in particular. So there are certain ones, but yeah, some animals are, you know, when we used to be able to go into somebody's home and share the products, the dog's going crazy and he's barking at everybody going by. And then I get the diffuser going and we start passing around the oils and we're just talking. And for the first time ever, you know, her dog just curled up at her feet and people were walking by and coming in and out of the house. And she's like, no problem. There's lavender going and that's fine. So that's really
great, because, you know, sometimes when you've got a rescue dog, and I've got, I have 5 dogs and 3 cats, but 1 or 2 of them are rescued, and there's one, and she clearly has PTSD, and certain things, like she doesn't mind if you go near her with a walking stick or a mop, no problems. Lift a sweeping brush, even barely touch the sweeping brush, and she's very traumatized. So something happened.
Yeah.
An animal like that would really benefit from you know, essential oils, and I know it's just a thing you don't think about, and yet it's very obvious.
Yeah, and the nice thing is that when they like it, they like it. They're not you know, putting you on or anything. They're not like, oh,
no, they respond immediately. Yeah, they do. Absolutely.
It's not like, I think my joints are feeling a little bit better. They're
exactly. Yeah. Right. More walks. My joints are feeling good now. Keri, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Zoom in on her Twitter and her Instagram and her Pinterest and her Facebook on the screen there. She is more than willing to chat to you and coach you and have a little talk to her about Doterra, and, you know, make sure that you look after yourself. I'll see you next week. We'll have another guest from Women's Inspire on Monday. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.